So I think it's safe to say that all of us here have been supporting the divine feminine in all of her forms for years. All the different goddesses. We each have our own particular flavor. And I feel that I'm being asked to bring her right into the present, into what we are seeing on our streets, what we are experiencing. In 2014, Sophia came to me. I was living in San Francisco, and she said, "People will need the mother in ways that you cannot yet understand." And we were not in a great place in 2014, but here we are basically 12 years later, and I can see now why she said it that way. I think for a long time, I thought that it just meant that we need her. But she needs us. She needs our boots on the ground, embodied, to show up as her. Show up as her eyes, her ears, her voice. Show up to say, my grandson and little Liam, that hopefully is just being released, is my grandson also. Unfortunately, some of our paths, mine included for a while, led me to a path of a much more masculine way of being in the world and transcending everything. But the divine feminine is rooted in the earth with feet on the ground. And we're not to bypass that. Now, there's great wisdom in us not being caught in the barrage that we get daily of the horrific things that are happening. But at the same time, we don't look away. We cannot look away. That is not what she is asking of us. And I've sat in too many circles where that is still being perpetuated. Isn't it a wonderful plan, if you want to say, of the darkness, to have the feminine believe that she's not to be embodied, that she's not to stand up, that it's not spiritual? Originally, I was given a message by Sophia in 2007 when I was living in Mount Shasta. That was the first time I heard from her. And she said, "I'm giving you my keys." And I didn't know what that meant at the time. But the divine feminine does not ask for permission. She arrives when the world is failing and takes the keys back. We are being asked to take the keys back. And hold our power in a feminine way. It doesn't have to look like the masculine, but it's power nonetheless. I honor my path with Sophia and all of our paths with the divine feminine. And I feel we're being initiated to really, truly embody her.
I know that when Diana speaks, there are times when the mother is moving through her. And it felt like she was here today. It's such an honor to be here and to hear the voices of all of you. And it's just so beautiful. And the work that Scott, you're doing is an amazing gift and a container that's incubating the new world as it's trying to come forward. I want to just briefly just talk about, so as a man, what do I do? What do we men do? What is the significance of the masculine in all of this? And, of course, the feminine is within all of us. And there's the feminine archetype as there is the masculine archetype. But, in bodies in this world, I happen to be a white man, and that gives me, a certain, privilege in the culture. And what do I do with that? And I think, you said, Diana, that, this is an initiation from the mother. Yeah. And I would say that, this as a man, I feel like that initiation is happening. The masculine is going through what Francis Weller is calling, bless his heart, sacred masculine, a rough initiation. We're going through a rough initiation right now. And for men, there is a eroding of the ego. We are on our knees. We have to be on our knees. I have a good friend who is working with the slogan, "White man listening." I want to be witness to the suffering that the patriarchy has inflicted on humanity for eons. And hearing the voice of the women here, is speaking to the power of, the return of the feminine. Christianity, and way before that, 2,000 years ago, the goddess kind of got pushed out from the divine pantheon, and it became God the Father. And the whole legacy of the patriarchal God has been, it's been a phase of human development, and here we are. We're really at the end of what is possible here with that model, so as a man, I'm working with just like creating a post-patriarchal masculine holding environment for the reintegration of the divine feminine. We are looking to de-escalate conflict through emotional attunement and relational bridge building. We want to be well-versed in the art of conscious sacred relationship. We are enliveners and protectors of the feminine and the child principles. We are being a service of humanity by tempering our egos. These are just a few of the things that I'm working with. And I'm working with other men in the men's community here in Northern California. Where are the men? What's happening with the men? This is a question that comes up. We retreat into our men's groups or we do our inner work. But really, we're at a point where we are being called to come out of our men's circles, to show up on the streets, boots on the ground, Neptune and Aries. It's spiritual activism time. And, it's this question of like, okay, so why aren't things moving faster? Why isn't change happening more? And if we look around, in a sense, there's almost like things are getting worse. I mean, it's kind of crazy, even though there's such beauty that's happening here. And so, just to turn to Sophia, Christy, bless your heart and bless your children's book, and bringing the story of Sophia to the children is so wonderful. And what is the Sophia I think her relevance right now is that Sophia, as the higher Sophia, this is from the Gnostic tradition. It's an early Christian cosmology that is very, very profound and got suppressed. And Sophia has a high Holy Spirit. This is who we speak to. This is the one that Antoinette is depicting so beautifully in her video. Mm. And then there's the daughter, the lower Sophia, who comes into this world and has fallen and becomes trapped by the tyranny of the archons. Mm-hmm. Archon is a Greek word meaning leader. It was very generic back in 2,000 years ago. But St. Paul called them the princes and their principalities. Mm. And they have certain qualities. And these qualities are very much like what we're seeing in the world stage right now, especially in America. Mm-hmm. Narcissism, Machiavellianism, psychopathy, and sadism. These are four dark quadrads of the way the dark masculine is showing up in order to continue to try to keep us down, keep this movement of humanity. There's this movement of awakening that is so beautiful and such. So in the story of the Pistis Sophia is crying out to her beloved to say, rescue me from the tyranny of the archons. Mm. And the more she cried out, the more she sang, the harsher the kickback came. And I think that's what's kind of happening right now. Mm. But I wanted to share just one little story from those texts, these early Christian Gnostic texts. It's called The Hypostasis of the Rulers, all about these archons. And there's a story of Norea. And Norea was a daughter of Adam and Eve, lesser known, sister to Seth. And the archon told her, you must render service to me just like we had your mother, Eve, do. And Norea turned, and in a loud voice, she cried out to the God of the eternity, the great source, rescue me from the rulers of injustice and save me from their clutches immediately. And there was a being of light that comes from the highest levels, Aletheia, who says, I have been sent to speak with you, Norea, and save you from the grasp of the lawless. And I shall teach you about your root, where the virgin spirit dwells, who is superior to the authorities of chaos and all their universe. Mm. She's saying, in you is the spark, is the root that is outside of the control of the archons. And this seems to be what is being called on us right now, is that we want to call out the atrocities that are happening in the Epstein files and the dark craziness that is sort of like really showing its face right now. Thank you, Connie, for bringing that in. But we're being called to connect to higher source because in a sense, the darkness is so vast. So setting boundaries, that's a masculine process. Whoever, Scott, whoever was in the controls behind the scenes, protecting us from the intrusion of a invasive masculine. Mm-hmm. Mm. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. And so we want to do a little praying. Yeah. And so if we have time. So thank you all. So this is Diana and the words that move through her. Mm.
You can feel free to close your eyes if you would like and just go into a contemplative state. This is a prayer poem, or a prayum as I call them, of witnessing and fierce mothering. O beloved mother and source of all life, Make us the mothers of every child. Hear the cries we are afraid to hear, and see the suffering we want to turn away from. Hold the families torn by fear, the small bodies of babies carrying unfathomable trauma. Hear the hearts of parents breaking. Do not let us grow comfortable with the cruelty or allow our numbness to masquerade as transcendence. Do not let spiritual ideals replace compassion, or let conspiracies erode our hearts and minds. Wake us from our deep sleep of complacency. Break open the places in us that would rather be comfortable than courageous. May we be heartsick over injustice. May our patriotism be measured by how we protect the vulnerable, the voiceless, the small. Let our values be living, breathing, and embodied in advocacy, in tenderness, and in resistance to harm. Let pro-life mean all life. Let liberty mean everybody. Let love be a word of action. Oh, Mother, hold up the mirror to see inside our hearts. Let us become aware of who and what we are becoming. Let history remember not our silence, but our choosing, our courage, not our fear, but our fierce compassion. May we choose to be full-fledged flesh and bone humans, embodied with divinity in a time that is testing and degrading our very humanity. May we choose to stand. May we choose love when love demands everything of us. Amen. So be it, and let it begin with each one of us.